Today, I want to give you 5 tips that you can use right now, today, to start improving your credit score. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Real Estate Playbook. My name's Andrew, and today I want to just talk about how we can start working on increasing your credit score. Because if you've been watching my other credit videos, you know that your credit score is an extremely important, impact on your overall finances, especially when you're looking to leverage any sort of lending from a bank, right? Because the higher your credit score is, the better terms you're going to get on the loans, the less interest you're going to pay, and ultimately the better position you are going to be to do whatever it is you want in your finances. So let's just jump right into it and start talking about what we can do to start improving in this area of our finances, right? So number one, we need to pay down all those high balances that you may have on credit cards. If you have the high balances, what you're doing is you're using up a big part of your revolving credit. You're basically utilizing too much. So if you have high balances, we need to pay those down to at least less than 30% of what your overall balance is. We want to get it even lower if possible. We like to be below 10%, but let's at least just start at 30%. So an easy thing you can do right now today is just take inventory of what your balances are on your credit cards. And if they're high, let's start working and creating a plan to pay those things down. The second easy thing you can do is set up auto pay or have some sort of calendar reminder or a physical calendar for reminder, or however you keep track of things to keep track of when your payments are due, right? Because the biggest part of your credit mix is your payment history. And if we can set up auto pay or have some sort of reminder system, we can avoid ever having a late payment, right? So that's a quick, easy thing you can do right now, just so we never have one of those, right? We never want to have a late payment because that's going to hit us big time on our credit score. The third easy tactic you can use right now to increase your score is actually increasing your credit limit. So what you can do is you can call up your credit card company and you can ask them to extend your limit. And what this will do is essentially lower your utilization on your credit card because the limit increased. Basically, right, you have a bigger volume of what you can borrow, but you're going to keep your spending down so you're utilizing less. So if you're somebody who is disciplined in your spending, this would be a great tool for you. However, if you're someone who is going to spend more just because your limit increased, then don't do that. But as long as you're disciplined in your spending and you can keep it down, right, over the bigger balance, this is going to help you lower your overall utilization on your credit card. So that's something you can do. The fourth tip that I recommend is just keep an eye on your credit history and make sure there's nothing that needs to get disputed, right? Credit bureaus, they're human beings just like us. They do make mistakes. So if they made a mistake on a payment or opened up some sort of line of credit that's not actually yours, make sure you reach out to that credit bureau directly so we can work through that and get that taken care of, right? It's more common than what you would think. They do make mistakes, like I said, just like us. We're all human beings. So if there is a mistake in your credit that's not yours, we need to get on the phone, call them, and get that figured out because that could increase your score pretty quickly. For tip number 5, an easy thing you could do is be added to someone's credit card as an authorized user. And essentially what this does is you can basically, piggyback off of someone who has really good credit, right? And the way this works is essentially you just get added to their credit card. You don't actually need to have a credit card or spend their money. You're basically just riding off the coattails of their credit. So if you have someone in your life who's kind enough to let you do this, this would be a way to increase your credit score because, again, you're basically hopping onto their credit score and using the good history they have without really having to do much. That's something you could do. So before we jump out of here, guys, I just want to give you one last tip that could help you big time in your credit. And essentially what this is paying your credit card 2 times per month. And what you're going to do is you're going to pay for your credit card one time halfway through the month and then a second time right before your statement is released. And what this is allowing you to do is have your credit balance as low as possible when that statement, basically resets. And again, you're trying to attack your utilization and get that as low as possible. Because, a lot of people don't realize is even if you're paying your credit card off in full every single month, if you're waiting for that credit statement to come out, you're not actually really coming out ahead in terms of your utilization because the utilization is still up. So by paying your credit card twice a month, you'll always have that balance low. And then the second time you pay it, you'll actually have it hopefully paid off completely before your statement comes out. That way, when it does hit, right? Because when your statement comes out, that's when it's actually hitting, then you'll have the lowest utilization and that will increase your score. So there you have it, guys. There's 6 tips that you can use to start increasing your credit, right? So I wanted to give you some actionable things that you can do right now to today, because as we've already know, your credit score is a big deal, not only when you're trying to buy a house, right? But anytime you're lending money. So take action on those tips, use those tips, and let your score start to increase. These are things that I've used personally, but also for clients. And these are proven strategies that you can use to start taking advantage of your credit. Thank you guys for watching and hanging out with me. I have 2 more credit videos that are already posted on my channel. So if you want to check those, feel free to check them out. Otherwise, stay tuned for more mortgage tips and resources, and I'll see you next time. Take care.